wanted to talk about this story. It just recently happened, and when you hear about these kinds of stories, it really does just it kind of gets underneath my skin a little bit because, I gotta carefully think about what I'm gonna say here. So, Brooklyn's Yoga Hell, a yoga studio. Yeah, think about that. A yoga studio. Not like a political campaign headquarters. Yeah, it's a yoga studio. Some douchebag dude who's a skinhead, Nazi type, they broke into the yoga studio, stole some artifacts, and graffitied the place and put some Nazi shit there. SWAT stickers, this, that, And firstly, it's Brooklyn. You know, I gotta think. There might be a few Nazis residing in Brooklyn, but it's not necessarily the place that I think of as like, oh yeah, this is like a fortified Nazi location kind of thing. It's Brooklyn. And so when I heard this story, I was kind of like thinking a couple of things. Firstly, to the owner, Kativa Riva, I think that's her name, Kativa Riva. I'm sorry that this type of thing happened to you as an owner of a small business. It's kind of shitty, but a lot of people, what I've discovered during COVID, since COVID, prior to COVID, I really didn't pay too much attention to you all shenanigans. But since COVID, since the lockdown and everybody had to stay home, you kind of have time to pay attention to your surroundings and what's going on. And I'm telling you, people are really douchebags, especially men. Look, I get why a lot of them are single. They're just douchebags. Yeah, it's just no way around that. I get it now. And it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. And the ones that are douchebags make it really difficult for the ones that aren't. Yeah. So this ignoramus thinks that breaking into a yoga studio and vandalizing it with his bullshit, hateful Nazi bullshit. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what is that supposed to do in essence? Yeah, ask yourself, what is that supposed to do? First and foremost, it doesn't change anyone's mind. And this is really, in essence, what I want to go to. These Nazi thugs who are running around the society, not just here in this country, but everywhere. Look, let me break some news to you. You're not going to change any of our minds about your bullshit. Period. Yeah, you can do this little juvenile delinquent kind of bullshit, but it's not going to change any of our minds. Like, you either are that or you're not. And they've got it in their tiny pea-sized brains that they have that somehow if they go around intimidating us or using violence or advocating for violence, that, ooh, we'll be scared of them. No, you stupid little sons of bitches. Nobody is scared of you, period. Nobody cares about you. This woman has a yoga studio. Her clients do yoga. She's not out trying to proselytize people. She's not out trying to raise funds for political campaign. At least not in her yoga studio, she's not. Now, whatever her beliefs are after that, they're hers alone. You know, at some point, maybe some small flicker of a light bulb is going to go off in their head. And they're going to realize that nobody gives a rat's ass about them. Period. None of us do. Nobody cares about you. You know, I think they have to gravitate and bug us in order to even be recognized that they even exist. Because nobody's running up into any of their locations bugging them. Now, are we? Are we going to where Nazis hang out, skinheads hang out, and vandalizing their shit, putting Black Lives Matter? No. Nobody cares about them. And see, this is what irks them, in my opinion. This is just my theory, you all. They know that nobody gives a rat's ass about them. And so because they know nobody cares about them, they have to go out of their way to say, here, look at me. Be alarmed about me. Be afraid about me. And nobody cares. Nobody. And so the shop is going to get repaired. The kind and wonderful Brooklynites are going to take care of this situation because they always do. And hopefully they find this asshole and they make a real example out of it. Yeah, because somebody like this doesn't deserve to be roaming around in the society. And you know, these are the type of folks that think that doing this kind of thing gives them some kind of credibility, like other people will want to do this. Yeah, only people like you will want to do that. And that's a tiny, tiny few. They're in the minority of the minority of the minority. I know they love to tell themselves they're in the majority, but you're not. And nobody cares about you. The fact that this woman has to deal with this kind of shit, and she told the reporter, she said, you know, people are assholes. No, just those people are assholes. The rest of us, we kind of don't want to have anything to do with them either. Yeah, this is the problem. None of us really want to have anything to do with it. And that's why they're spazzing out, because they're being ostracized. Their families, most of their families don't want to have anything to do with them. If they have children, their children, most of them don't want to have anything to do with them. And so this is all they have. These type of domestic terrorist incidents that they do. That's it. I mean, I can go outside and act like a juvenile too. It doesn't do anything for me. It's not going to give me any more support. It's like, oh, somebody did something terroristic. Most people now will look at that and say, oh, this person is a crazy person. Next. Like, this doesn't help their cause at all. They do better printing on some flyers things that they're for. Oh, that's right, they're not for anything. They're always against things. Yeah, there's nothing positive about them. Everything is negative. And then they say everybody else is a threat to the society. But the only people we ever see threatening people in the society is them. Yeah. Do we ever see anybody else threatening anybody in the society besides them? This is a legitimate question. You know, the Ku Klux Klan in Michigan, they terrorized some AME church recently. Put up flyers and said, "Be warned, we're back." Hey, heads up, nobody gives a shit. They're like, "Oh, you're back? Who cares? Next." And we know this is the type of people that support Trump and DeSantis. So this is that crowd. And they don't get it yet, you all. But this is why he, in essence, lost. You know, when people say he didn't lose, I point to these kind of clowns and said, yeah, he did lose. Because everybody was like, they're sick of those type of people. And that's the people that was supporting him. And people are like, we don't like those type of folks. And so we're not going to support a candidate that's giving voice to that kind of thing. Yeah. You never had all of these types of hate crimes until Trump. Yeah. The hate crimes spiked as soon as Trump got elected. You saw Charlottesville. You saw George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. Now, what about Trump inspired people to go about doing all of this? Well, they knew in essence he was a hater. So if he's a hater and he's your leader, then we can be haters too out in the general society. Folks who are already naturally haters. The rest of us who aren't haters, it didn't embolden us to be hateful. It just emboldened the people who are already haters to be hateful. Yeah. Everybody knows there's a direct correlation. Besides the haters, they think, oh, it's just all of us are haters in the society. No, it's just you. Period. It's just you. None of the rest of us have time to vandalize a yoga studio and take religious items that happen to be Jewish and then say, oh, I'm not anti-Semitic. You know, this dude that did that, he'll tell you he's not anti-Semitic. Yeah. This is the type of bullshit we have to put up with. And so you all, I hope that she repairs her shop. You know, a lot of people in Brooklyn might not even have known about Brooklyn's Yoga Hell Studio. They might not even have known. But now that this has happened, she might get new clients. Yeah, so some good will probably come of this horrendous evil, in my opinion. You know, they gotta stop saying they're justified and what they're doing is holy and all of that kind of shit. It's pure evil. That's what it is. Because even if you disagree with somebody, let them have their shops and their business. You know, it's a lot of places I disagree with. A lot. You don't see me going around vandalizing and terrorizing. You're entitled to do what you want to do. If I disagree with you, I'll say something, possibly, maybe. I might not even say anything about you. You might be so irrelevant that I don't even commentate. How many folks do shit all the time and I never say shit about it? I let it go. Because it's not worth my time. It's not worth the effort. This I'm bringing up because it's terrorism. They tried to terrorize this young woman who's only issue is that she had a yoga studio. Yeah, with some religious items in it. And I'm like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Yeah. If you look at Brooklyn Yoga Hell and you're like, I really don't like Jewish items. Hey, there's a gazillion yoga studios, right? How many yoga studios are there in Brooklyn? I have no idea. But I'm sure she's not the only one that has a yoga studio. So if you're like, I don't like those Jewish women, I don't like those Jews, why don't you just go to a non-Jewish yoga studio? Yeah, it's just that simple. Don't frequent an establishment that you don't enjoy or you don't support. Yeah, then you don't have to worry about vandalizing anything because you won't be frequenting it, right? Common sense. But you know what they say, common sense is not so common nowadays. I just said, man, this is ridiculous. In Brooklyn too. I think it was because it was in Brooklyn. If it was in some small podunk town, in some small town in America, I probably wouldn't have commentated on it. Probably would have said, yeah, you probably have to get out of that small town. But because it's Brooklyn, I said, Brooklyn doesn't go for this kind of shit. And they don't. So I think she's going to come back bigger and better than ever before. There's going to be probably so many people outside that door now. Yeah. And good for her. I hope she gets everything she has coming to her good, in a good way. And I hope they catch this punk that did that shit. Because it's not cool. Like, if you have a problem with folks, you don't like certain folks, and they're just haters. They don't like anybody. Yeah. If you have a problem and you're just a hater, can you do us all a favor for the remainder of 2023? Just hate on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, that's what that platform is for, sadly enough. Just post your hate on there. Yeah. I'm like, you can't make this shit up. I'm like, who goes into a yoga studio and vandalizes a yoga studio with Nazi shit in Brooklyn? Cuckoo. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, and folks will say I'm crazy, but I don't do half of the crazy shit that you all do. I don't even do 1/10 of it, 1/16, 1/100th of it. Yeah, you're never gonna see me vandalize a place, even if I don't like it. Yeah, I just don't believe in doing that kind of shit. If something's not for me, it's not for me. If I don't support something, I don't support it. Period. And I leave it at that. Because there's going to be people that do support it. And to each their own. Yeah. It is what it is. But me not supporting something and terrorizing it doesn't change anybody's mind that does support it. Him going into Brooklyn's Yoga Hell studio, you all, is that going to change anybody's mind that was a paying customer of Brooklyn's Yoga Hell? Is that going to make anybody say, now I don't want to go to Brooklyn Yoga Hell because a Nazi doesn't like the place? Really, that's why I said these folks are stupid as fuck. Because you're not going to change anybody's mind. Yeah, we're all grown adults here. Unless you're going to pay our bills, yeah, unless you're going to take care of us, subsidize us, and even still, if the Nazis were subsidizing me, I still don't think I would go for it. Be like, thanks, but no thanks. But this doesn't change anybody's mind. It never has and it never will. Yeah. It's just like, these are pathetic, toxic. This is, people say they have a hard time sometimes understanding what toxic masculinity is. The Nazi punk that ran up in Brooklyn yoga hell and did that. Toxic masculinity. Yeah, that's what it is. And you all, they do this kind of stuff all the time. This is their modus operandi. And they've never convinced anybody or changed anybody's mind. She just said hate has no home here, which is true. It's Brooklyn. Like, you're not going to scare anybody out of Brooklyn. Yeah, nobody is going to get scared of Nazis in Brooklyn. Come on now. So this is just a pathetic thing to do. Really it is. But these people are very pathetic. Yeah, they're miserable. You know what they say, misery loves company. But we got to keep our head up. We got to keep our head up and our spirits got to stay high. Because they're on that downward spiral. They're on the outward. Yeah. Their time and their season has come and it's gone. They know they're in their winter hour. They know this is their last hurrah. And they're trying to buck us on the way out the door. Bye. Don't let the door hit you and split you. Yeah. Bye, Felicia. Nobody cares about you. I love to tell them that to their face. Nobody cares about you. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody. Period. And this woman is like, man, I'm telling you. She's like, you just gotta chalk it up to these folks are pathetic. Their whole entire existence is wrapped around being pathetic and miserable. This is why nobody wants to deal with them. There's nothing that you can find appealing about them. Nothing. Yeah. I'm like, don't you have some type of hole in the wall, skinhead bar to go to? Yeah. Shouldn't you just be getting drunk all the time and ranting about your hatred for Jews and black people and Latinos and going on X, the platform X, formerly known as Twitter, and ranting there? Yeah, man, I'm telling you. But I think that she's going to come out on top with this. Yeah, I just thought I'd tell you all this. Be weary of your surroundings wherever you are. Sadly, we have these disgusting monsters roaming our society. And hopefully very soon we'll be rid of them for good. For good. Because 9 out of 10 of us are completely sick of them. Completely. Yeah. They might think that there's a lot of them, but no. They're in the minority of the minority of the minority. Yeah. Especially in Brooklyn. I was like, where did it happen? They said it was in Brooklyn. I said, oh my goodness. You know, what can I tell you all? It's a sign of the time.